Okay, we're back for another Thread Thursday. Hello. And I have finished, I think, it's upside down, adding all my little bits and pieces that I've embroidered in. We'd already had a look at the picot stitch. I've put a lazy daisy, finished off my bullions. I've added some fly stitch throughout, different colours, some crosses, some French knots, a bit more chain stitch. And I think here I started to do a woven basket, but I decided I just liked it as it was, like that. So that's all I've done that's extra. And when it's folded in half, this is going to be the front. So the spine on this book isn't very big, so put this in. This area will be what the spine looks like. Now there is this little overlap here and here, so there's a bit of overlap, and I decided that I'm just going to leave them. I like them like that. And what I want to do is cut this out and put some batting under this, because there's all the holes and the red showing through, and I think I'd like the softness of the batting underneath showing through. I haven't thought quite how to do that yet. I will probably either attach it to the backing of this material and then wrap it round, and then cover the inside cover with some batting as well, and then inside will be a next journal of stitchery. These pages will be taken out. So I just thought you'd want to see where I'm up to with that. Also with the pages of stitchery, some of them might have overhang up the top as well. So here we go. That's where I'm up with that. So let's have a look what's next. Okay, we're going to do woven chain stitch, and I decided to use these bits that I unpicked. So it's a thicker, more densely packed chain stitch, which does a really nice outline. Right, so this is how it goes. It's one stitch, and take another stitch, and you're going to come under that stitch, and create a chain. Now if you take another stitch, you come under that very first stitch, and you go back down through the hole that you just came up. When you take the next stitch, you don't go under this second chain, you go under the first chain, and then back down through this hole here, and then take another stitch. So you're always taking a stitch, coming up under the previous chain, and coming back down under that area. Another stitch, not under those two, but under these previous ones. Back down into the hole you made before. And that's the pattern. looks a little bit like a plait to me. Oh, just stuck myself with the needle. Now at the end, here, when you're coming under, you're doing like what you did here and doing a stitch. And basically repeating what we did. Just turn it round. Just coming up here to create a chain. And on the next stitch, you're coming in under that first stitch. And then back through the hole that you just made when you came up. Take another stitch. And you're coming up under those first two and back down through where you just came up. And that's your ending. And then you cast off. Righto, next stitch is feather stitch. Kathy says it's a bit like Cretan stitch, so you can look back and find that one. And this is good for doing borders apparently. So up on the outside, down the middle, don't pull it all through. Take one stitch in the middle. Okay, so right where you've come out is where you go down. Don't pull it all the way through again, and just come up a stitch on this side. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat that. That's the pattern you're going to continue on to the end. And as Kathy says, as you get used to this, you might not even need those lines. It just keeps it nice and even when you've got the lines. Definitely a good way to make a border. And honestly, quite simple. And just as you would with a fly stitch or a chain stitch, just casting that off that end. Okay, so that's it. We've got the heavy chain stitch and we've got the fly stitch. And just really actually only a few more to go with this stitch wheel. Coming along nicely. Okay, I just thought I'd come back in with the update. Now I've gutted the book, taken all the middle pages out. I've made a piece of batting for each of these areas. Not going to glue that down just yet, just waiting till I've got a bit more done. So I've also cut some batting for the back of the front cover, and I will glue the batting to the book cover because that way it'll be secure and it'll be nice and even. Now I'm not going to worry too much about the batting sticking up here, but I am going to sew the batting to the front piece, and it'll give, the batting will just give a nice bit of a cushion, which is beautiful, but definitely for the spine, gluing the batting down will really help to form that spinal area too. So that's where I'm up to, and I am going to use a bit of the white thread so as it's relatively unobtrusive, because I like to keep this white all there. Actually, this is the way it'll be going up. This is the front cover with the little squirrel. Yes, so that's what I'm going to do, and I will continue with this and be back. Now, as I have been sewing along this top part, I've got to a point where I realise that I don't want to sew all across here and then this is going to be loose in the middle. So I've decided that I am going to stick this particular part to the batting. Now this is going to be slightly awkward because I don't want to lose the position of my front to the back, to the backing, and I don't really want to risk glue seeping through, but I think it'll be all right because I've got the doily behind. So I'm going to use Fabric Fix. I'm going to just, the only trouble with batting is the Fabric Fix kind of gets all fluffy. So I'm just getting a rough shape in here. See the fluff. Let me just see. Alright, so the top's going to be alright. I don't think I've come down far enough. Okay, that should be enough to fill in. As it dries, turn it over. It's not seeping through, so that's good. And I can continue stitching. Just going to pin down these edges again. Ready to start sewing down again. That banging is the wind. It's a very windy day here today. Okay. So I will continue. This is what I've been doing, just a wonky running stitch all over the place. So I'm going to continue going through the sides, you know, both sides, and then do a bit along the bottom, and then that will be all secured and ready. Okay, I've now finished stitching all the way around, and I think I was realising that when I stick this to the cover, that these bits of thread are going to help to adhere it. So I haven't stuck down the inside yet because I've decided that I'll just finished my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery first, and then this will be ready to get started for the next one. So I just wanted to show you how it will look. So yes, there will be a bit up above and a bit below the cover. I haven't decided if this is going to be turned in or not, or whether I'll just cut back the batting. I could just turn it in and glue it down. And these will come over here, so it'll be like this with the middle in. And I like the fact that it's got the batting behind rather than the red. It's very, it's softer, it's more tactile. And so it's ready to go for the next session. So I hope you enjoyed this Thread Thursday. I'll have to come up with something else for the Thread Thursdays now, and because this will now be part of the next Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.